So just to jump right into the video, what we've seen now is we're just continuing on with some rust repair. This Volkswagen had a lot of rust repair to do. Basically, the bottom 6 inches around the whole thing was rusted out. A lot of people would say maybe this one's too far gone, but we were just going to go for it anyways. So we see the rear quarter panel that needed to be replaced. The whole bottom part must have been in a collision or something, because the whole bottom part of that rear quarter panel, I think there was about an inch and a half of filler Bondo on it. And most would agree that that is probably too much filler. So we cut that out and we put in some new metal. And you'll see that I use something called Osfo. I use that wherever I could. It is a great sort of product for you to use to help protect. First of all, it's like a rust converter, so it will help neutralize and stabilize any rust that you might have, like surface rust and stuff like that. And it also, you can use it on your bare metal, and it will sort of etch the metal and makes like a protective surface barrier, and it will help protect your bare metal before, like if you have to have your project sitting for any amount of time and it's going to be in bare metal, you can put this on and it will stop it from rusting. So any place that I was opening up panels, I would always try and treat it with some Osfo, and that way you know that you've treated the rust in there. You can't always get everything, but you have to do the best that you can. Osfo is a great product for that. So not sponsored, but Osfo, it's good. It's another good opportunity for me to remind people that I'm not like a welder. Like, I don't do this as a job. Like, it's not my trade. And this whole project was a big lesson in learning how to weld sheet metal. So this is just a good reminder for everyone that I'm still in the process, like in these videos anyways, I was still in the process of learning how to do all of that. And so it was definitely a learning curve. And the best advice I can give to anybody who wants to learn how to weld is just to stick with it and practice a lot. The other thing I need to mention is that I am not a metal finisher. Like, I can't weld like those guys and finish it and make it look like I was never there. The reality is that I can do my very, very best and try and finish it, but it's not going to be perfect. So the reality for most DIYers, and in general, anybody doing restoration work, is that you're going to have to go back and use filler on the panel. Now, I'm not talking gobs and gobs like that was on that panel, like an inch and a half. I'm talking, you got to skim the panel to flat it again. So that's the reality. If you think that you can do this and get out of a little bit of filler work, you're dreaming. I know that there are a lot of talented metal workers out there who can metal finish and do a beautiful job. But listen, you and we're not it. So wrap your head around the idea that you're just going to have to use a little bit of filler. And that's the reality. That's the standard. People do that. It's okay. What's not okay is if you're using more than a 1/4 inch. I'd say a 1/4 inch is even too much. 1/8 of an inch is all I want to use. But I would say that, a little bit of filler is going to save you if you're not a metal finisher. And listen, we're not. We're learning. You and we're learning. We can give ourselves a break. Use a little bit of filler. It'll look beautiful. But do the best you can to make sure you're going back and sort of planishing your panels and trying to get them as flat as you can. I definitely needed to do more of that. That is one thing that I wish I did more. I was just very naive and I thought, well, it'll be fine. But just spend more time trying to metal finish the best you can, even though we know that it's going to be not perfect. But I wish, for me, so this is advice, I wish I'd spent a little bit more time with the metal finishing part, because that saves you. It does save you in time and materials when you're going and doing your filler work, your body work. The next thing you're going to see is that rear crossmember repair, and this is on the inside of the body. This is a pretty notorious sort of corner where you're going to get a lot of water that's going to pool and it's going to rust out, and mine was the same on both sides. This is a tricky repair mostly because there is just so much happening there. You've got the crossmember coming into the corner, you've got the wheel well you've got to worry about, and then you've got the luggage, sort of the package tray, the luggage tray that comes down as well. Everything just like converges in that corner. So it can seem like a very overwhelming sort of area because there is just layers and layers of sort of things that are happening there. But I found that putting in that rear cross member first, and then maybe doing a little bit of the wheel well on the outside, and then coming back and doing the package tray, again, just layers and layers of sort of sheet metal that you have to be putting in there. That was the kind of the order that I went in. Again, this repair was tricky, and it didn't come out pretty, but it's solid. You'll find we'll say that a lot on our projects. We're like, well, it's not pretty, but it's solid. And a lot of people will see this repair and ask me, or have asked me, why don't I use the whole panel? So I've got the whole cross member piece. Why don't I just use the whole thing? Now, there's kind of two schools of thought. You're either in the camp of just use the whole panel, or you are in the camp of save as much of the original metal as you can. I'm in the camp of trying to save as much as I can. I feel like, why mess with something that is already fitting on the chassis and fitting perfectly? Why would I cut that out? I only want to cut out what is exactly necessary. And you'll notice too that a lot of the aftermarket panels just aren't the same quality as that original metal. The thickness just isn't there, so they just aren't quite as good quality. So do what you want there. I think preserving as much of the original metal as possible is what I want to do, but you might have something different, and that's also okay. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. And actually, in some cases, there are just times where I will just use the whole panel because maybe it is more convenient, or maybe it is just the right thing to do. But in general, I try and save as much of the original metal as possible. And yeah, that's basically it for this episode. Lots going on, and we're going to keep on doing more. And yeah, just keep coming back every week. I just have a little bit every week that I'm going to share, and you guys get to watch this unfold just as it did 4 years ago. So pretty cool. We'll see you next week. Okay, this is just for anybody who wants to see a little bit more about what was done back here and just kind of where I'm at right now. So I've been grinding down all the welds and everything. So all the welds are, you know, looking a lot nicer. Looks really good down here. So I welded down here and across there.
And then down there, I haven't ground the welds down there yet because I don't have a tool to get down there really well yet. Other places, so this is where the heater channel meets that part back there. Usually there's spot welds back there, but I just did just some a bead across there. And then little plug welds here. This part was too deteriorated, so it just came out. I'm not going to replace that. I'm not going to worry about that. And then I've got some stuff to do down here. We'll go down to the bottom side now. Okay, then down here, this is where the wheel well and this back panel met, welded up here. There's a weld right here where there's a little bit of a lip that comes and the other part sits on. And then just more down here, more welds down here. So yeah, overall pretty happy with how it went. And yeah, that's just for anyone interested in seeing a little bit more about it.